Joyner Lucas is no stranger to controversy. From his breakout hit I'm Not a Racist to his latest single Devil's Work that was shot inside a church, he might be the first headline shock value artist of our generation. But one thing that always rings true with Joyner is substance. He spares very little bars, is not afraid to draw the line in the sand for his audience on where he stands politically. On October 12, 2018, Joyner announced a new album in the works and said he would be dropping it song by song. Devil's Work appears to be the first single, not to mention it'll be his first independent project since leaving Atlantic Records. So is it Joyner season? Now Joyner Lucas hasn't been on the scene a long time. In fact, he wasn't even Joyner Lucas 4 years ago. But regardless, we've dug up his projects and are ranking them from worst to best and giving you a little inside information you might not have known about. My name is Marlon Palmer, and hey, I get it, you're probably gonna disagree with me a bunch of times, and that's perfectly fine. Now I want to hear what you guys have to say about our picks in the comment section below, and you can also use the poll at the end of this video. Shouldn't even be born, you wasn't meant to. Other songs like About Me and Go Hard would prove that he could hold his own. But to be quite honest, the rest of this mixtape is just not it. Like, at all.
Shorty said you petty.
Coming in at number 2 is another horrible album cover, but a much better album. Along Came Joyner. Listen, this cover isn't nearly as bad as the last one, but you'd think a guy with the foresight of changing his name would know someone with a camera. But regardless, one thing was very clear. He could rap his ass off, and he was very hungry to make it big in the hip-hop industry. Well, actually, he was just very hungry. Just check out some of his lyrics off one of the best songs on the mixtape, Mansion. Standing around like you don't get the fucking picture. Let me paint it for you. I ain't playing with you. Waiting for the Illuminati just so I can get a check. Here's my soul. Let me trade it to you. Listen, there's only one person I know that sold their soul, and it didn't go over too well for them.
I'm afraid. I'm afraid some weirdos got my soul and I don't know what they're doing to it.
Now, we've seen a bunch of collaborations over the years between dancehall artists and hip-hop artists, which by the way, rarely miss. Jay-Z and Mavado with On The Rock, Baby Boy from Sean Paul and Beyonce, even Ghetto Story by Baby Sham and Alicia Keys was killing parties. But I gotta be honest, I did not see a banger coming from Joyner Lucas and Busy Signal with Riding Solo, which has 945,000 views on YouTube at the time of this recording.
Touché.
Joyner was good at that though. He can make the best out of his situations, a key to success as an upcoming artist in any field. What stands out most to me on this project though is his improved delivery and his ability to switch in and out of different flows seamlessly. His storytelling is above all my favorite part of his game, which the world took notice to on one of his most important songs, Ross Capicchione. There was someone else that really loved it too.
The way he did it from the two perspectives, it was genius, and it was like, stood out.
Ross Capicchione told the gripping, real story of a 17-year-old boy that was lured into a bad neighborhood and shot 3 times and left for dead, all by someone he thought was his friend. Joyner's song told the story, but from both sides, the victim and the killer. To this day, I think it's one of his best songs, but what's his best album?
We could do this all day, you feel me?
It's a phone number, his phone number. 508-507-2209 was released on June 16, 2017 by Atlantic Records. In an interview with Hot New Hip Hop, he said, "This project took 2 years in the making. There's a lot of records that I scrapped, start over, scrapped, start over. There's records that I've made from the very beginning 2 years ago that I still keep on the project now. So there's a lot of old mixed with new, but it's all cohesive." And that is exactly what we got. Exquisite production and even more improved lyrical prowess from Joyner. And more refreshingly, a whole new mindset. He seemed very confident and ready to manifest everything he had been speaking about. Songs like Ultrasound showed the versatility in his flows and the haymakers coming in the form of bars. He had perfect features with budding London artist Stefflon Don, who might have given him her best verse to date. Snow Allegra on Way to Go provided angelic vocals, and even Mystical, yes, I said it, Mystical, gave y'all some bars. The best part about this album is Joyner still sounded hungry. My favorite song, Lovely, is a perfect example. Lovely isn't a new Joyner, but a more evolved version. One still yearning for respect and riches, but staying positive regardless of the circumstances. And that's why this album is Joyner's best.
I thought you was gonna be a lot worse than you were. I'm gonna keep it 100.
Now, as you can see from this list, he's had a natural progression throughout his career this far. He seems to be aging like wine. His next album, ADHD, is slated to be released early this year, but until then, that's our list. I'm Marlon Palmer. Thank you guys so much for watching. And of course, let us know in the comment section below what you want us to document next. We can really get crazy with this, guys. So I want you guys to let me know who you want to see. And until next time, peace.